Welcome to DMV Spotlight here in the nation's capital, where we shine a light on the issues impacting D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I'm Barbara Britt. The D.C. metro area is home to many members of the U.S. Armed Services, and when our service members come home, sometimes they are wounded, injured, and hurting. And there is a special place for a retreat for our recovering warriors to do just that, recover alongside their families. My guest today is Shirley Dominick, one of the co-founders of Willing Warriors. It's a nonprofit that runs several programs to support veterans, including the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. Shirley Dominick, thank you so much for joining me today on DMV Spotlight.
Thank you, Barbara, for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to just go back. You have a very interesting story as to how this all came together, Shirley, that it looks like you and your husband put this together several years ago.
It's been a while. Actually, back in 2012 we started, but I'll tell you, go back a little further than that. In 2006, the pastor of our church, Park Valley Church, he gave the small group a challenge to go out into the community and just do something for 40 days and then come back and tell the church about that. And so the premises there was really centered around Rick Warren's book, 40 Days of Purpose. But, for us, we decided that our small group would go to Walter Reed, make that visit, come back and tell the church. Okay, that was in 2006. We're still trying to figure out when are we going to go back to the church and tell them about this? Because we have been rolling ever since. So it started there in Park Valley, and we started out by the group taking 50 gift bags to Walter Reed, and it was around Christmas time. So you can imagine it's that festive time of the year, and so we go there, and we had 50 gift bags with us. It was toiletries in there, and then we put a $20 gift card with that package. And the event's supposed to start at 4:30. We got there at 3 o'clock. Long and short of it, by 4 o'clock, all of our gift bags were gone.
Oh.
And to add to that, here's what made it really, really interesting. One of the group members, they were in contact with Domino's Pizza. And Domino's Pizza delivered pizza for us during that time. And at 4 o'clock, there was no pizza either. And so we had, and I can remember this just like yesterday, and imagine you have a group of warriors waiting on an event to start. And here it is, about 8, 10 warriors. And I remember this double amputee female. She was first in line, and she looked at me and she said, "Ma'am, there was no pizza either." And I just was grasped with just pain, just realizing here we are with this group to have a party, and we have nothing to give. Everything is gone. And so what came to me, though, I started looking around, and what I noticed, Barbara, was everyone in our group, which was probably about 20, 25 people, came from the church or the community, and they were engaged with these warriors, and they were like best friends. They were talking and sharing, and they were having a good time. They weren't thinking about food. And so I looked over, and I have this picture, an actual picture that I carry with me, because I looked over, and there was my 3 girls. They were teenagers at the time, and they were engaged with a warrior, double amputee Oscar. He was 19 years old, from Peru, and he had his brother who was 18. And, fast forward 3.5 hours later, we were still there, and we could not get that group to move because they were so engaged with the warriors. And we drove back home, and my husband looked at me when we pulled up, and he said, we just got to do more. It was really like an opening to a whole new world for us, realizing that the need, really, what we thought was food and so forth, it was really companionship and to have someone to talk to and sit with them. And so we started doing more cookouts and just meeting with the warriors on a routine basis. And it really have opened our eyes as a community, but had no idea that in 2012, 6 years later, we would find a retreat home that we can now bring the warriors from Walter Reed, Fort Belvoir, surrounding areas, and actually now all across the country would come and they spend a week of respite there at the warrior retreat there at Bull Run. So it's a huge, huge win for all of us. I'm just so grateful.
I'm speaking today with Shirley Dominick, one of the co-founders of Willing Warriors. This retreat center, Shirley, that you're telling us about, the Warrior Retreat Center at Bull Run, how does it operate today?
So right now, a lot of volunteers, but we do have a small staff that I say they are part-time, but they actually work full-time. But they're there and they take care of the warriors. But without the volunteers and the community coming together to make this happen, we could never do this. Since we opened back in 2015, we have served over 1,800 warriors and their families there at the retreat. We hosted them for a week stay.
What do they do while they're there that's so important, Shirley?
Oh, I'm going to say the first is just R&R. Reconnect with their families, their battle buddies. And so once the reconnection, that space just allow them to do that. Because I think so often we're all just very busy and everyone is scattered. And so finally getting the family, the caretakers together and let them be in a place. The setting itself is on a 37-acre property. We have 2 homes now. We're about to build the third home. And so it allowed that family to bond. And not only that, the community have come alongside, and we have about 60 different activities that they can choose from horseback riding to, art, going to some art, the theater, rainbow riding. They do the horseback riding for us, and so many different things. Helicopter riding, you name it, they can select from that. And the nice thing about it, we have a smorgasbord of that, but we limit them to 4 because we don't want them to overwork themselves during this vacation time. And so, like you said, it's a huge win for all of us, the community at large.
And are these warriors now, are they coming out of treatment, Shirley, or are they on their way back to more civilian life?
Yes, all of the above. Most of them are coming out of treatment or still in treatment, depending on where they are, in the process. But the key there is to bring the family along, so that now they can reconnect and bond wherever they are.
And do you have medical treatment there for them as well if during that time?
It's non-medical. We try to schedule them between their treatments, and just to make sure it is an opportunity that perfect time that they can actually make that stay, more impactful. And so, yes, we do have them there for the respite, but no medical care.
Understood, because that would be so extra difficult. And I know that a lot of times you're dealing with wounds that are what we call invisible, traumatic brain injuries, post-traumatic stress.
That's huge.
And tell us about that.
That is really, I would say, the number one for us, especially since the pandemic. It has been really, really tough for so many families. And those that were doing okay before the pandemic have some, have regressed. And so for us, we have team partnered with other groups like the Mighty Oaks that would come out for a week of post-traumatic stress training that would allow warriors and sometimes families to come in and really learn how to deal with post-traumatic stress. And this group is faith-based, but their big thing is to allow them to learn to deal with their post-traumatic stress, because these are combat warriors that are teaching this. They have been there and they've done that. And they believe in each one teaching one and reaching one. And so it has been an amazing connection to have partnership like this group, the Mighty Oaks, that will allow us this opportunity to help better our warriors and their families.
This is amazing. And Shirley, I know that a lot of these, taking care of these retreats and building these new homes for willing warriors cost money. And so talk to us about the fundraising. I know you have a big event coming up.
Yes, yes, we have a gala coming up on the 5th of November. It's going to be in there at Lansdowne Resort. And our hope is that we would raise $300,000. And what that would do for us is actually two major things. One, it will help support the warriors and family that we'll have coming in 2023. But alongside that, it would also help supplement the need for us in building this new house that we are going to do groundbreaking on in December. So that will be the third property, third house on this property, and this will allow us, we say, to triple our capacity. So now instead of one family, we have three families that we can bring up to 12 to come with their sister, brother, mom, dad, battle buddies. They can come and really, we call it a home away from home, and just have some time to respite, to reconnect, and then chart a pathway forward.
And then Shirley, tell us, I know you have other events throughout the year as well to support these activities.
Yeah, and so one of the other events, in fact, we just had a big bike ride. It was phenomenal. The day was perfect. We had up to 300 riders. That normally happen in September. We also have a poker ride where we have motorcyclists to come out and do a nice fundraising for us. And it's things like that we help to supplement the funds that we need to operate, as well as, like I said, to move forward with this new home.
It really sounds like you have taken off and never looked back. And of the 1,800 willing warriors that you have helped, have you stayed in contact with any of them?
We have, a number of them we stay in touch with. And the nice thing about it is they are our referral basis, because it's one of those things when you have an experience and you know someone else that can benefit from that experience, we get that over and over and over. So most of I would say the majority of our warriors are referred because their friend came, and now battle buddies and those. So it really makes a wholesome relationship.
So I've been speaking today with Shirley Dominick. Shirley, before I let you go, if people are listening and they think, wow, I would really like to be involved, what's a good way for them to contact Willing Warriors?
I think the best way would be going to our website, willingwarriors.org. That's willingwarriors.org.
And then, of course, the annual Willing Warriors Gala on November 5th. It'll be at beautiful Lansdowne Resort and Spa. Folks need to get tickets for that. That's coming right up.
Yes. Exciting times. Look forward to seeing everyone.
That's wonderful. I've been speaking today with Shirley Dominick, one of the co-founders of Willing Warriors, and I just want to thank you so much, Shirley, for joining me today on DMV Spotlight.
Well, Barbara, thank you so much. I surely appreciate this.
I'm Barbara Britt, and join us again next week at this same time for DMV Spotlight.